Good evening. I, C. Emily Day, on behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICI, welcome all the participants in today's webcast on 7 winning skills for career and life success. I welcome to today's resource person, C. Mia Agrawal, and others present over here. Now, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Founder of Panache, Neha Agrawal is a chartered accountant by education and a trainer by passion. After working in Deloitte Bangalore during the early days of her career, she started her first venture, Kiddocraft. Then, to broaden the horizon, Panache was incepted where they transform people by equipping them with the essential skills of life, that is, appearance, behavior, and communication. She is secretary of IMPA, Image Management Professionals Association, and now a proud member of Indian Society for Applied Behavior Sciences. She has also worked in Silicon Valley based edtech company Moonpreneur Inc. and visiting faculty in Pearl Academy. Married to businessman Kushagra Agrawal and blessed with two sons, Darsh and Hariom Agrawal, she believes that the purpose for life is to seek knowledge and impart it. We welcome you, Neha ma'am.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, ma'am. And it's really a pleasure for me to be here.
We may now begin with the presentation, ma'am.
Sure. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
A very warm welcome to all the people who are attending today's session. And I hope that I could give my two bits to whatever learning I have gained in whole of my life. So let's get started. Today we are going to talk about the 7 winning skills which are required by each and every person to walk up the ladder to success. So let's go ahead with that. So first of all, we would like to set the objectives. So today we are going to understand that what are these winning skills and what is their importance. And when it comes to these winning skills, like we are just going to talk about 7 of them, although there are so many. And what could be the actionable, or you can say the practical tips to attain those skills. So today there would be more of the practical examples. And at the end of the session, we would always be having a question and answer session where you can ask your doubts or anything if you have. And even the feedback is much required. So now, before we move ahead, as ma'am has already given my introduction, I would just like to tell that being a CA now, I provide financial acumen training to the students who are non-financial students, and to the financial students, we work upon the essential skills. So I am blessed to have been taught by two of the best institutes of India, which is ICBAI and ICAI. So let's work upon the 7 skills. Now, first of all, we will work upon the facts about the winning skills. So, when it comes to the winning skills, they are a combination of people skills. And these skills involve the social skills, the communication skills, the personality traits of the people, the attitudes, the social and emotional intelligence, also the etiquette, like whenever you go somewhere, then how do the people behave and how they should behave is something which we will work upon today. And these skills are also known as the soft skills. As we all, being the chartered accountants, we are best in our domain skills, and this is why we are here. So, today we are going to work upon the skills which sometimes lag behind, or sometimes we just don't get time to work upon them. So, today, as I know that you all are professionals and have less time, so we would be working directly on the practical tips that how can we have them. Now, these soft skills, as they say, that earlier it was mostly the desirable skills that I want to have some personality or I should work upon these things. But these days, as competition is growing up, then we need to have these skills. They have become imperative, and they are actually the differentiator skills which leads to the success. Maybe two people start at the same stage whenever they are in their career, but when they move up high the ladder, then these are the skills which makes them differentiate from others, and when they get the chance to go ahead than the other ones. Now, this I would like to share with you that a research was conducted by the Carnegie Foundation and the Stanford Research Center, and they found that 85% of the job success comes from the soft skills. If people have well developed soft skills, then these people only they go high up the ladder, and it is just 15% which depends upon the domain skills. No doubt that you get the first entry through your domain skills when you are good at your technical skills or the domain skills. But in case you want to have that, you need to reach up to that leadership position, then you need to work upon the soft skills as well. Also, a similar study was done by Harvard, and they also concluded that 80% of the achievement in career is determined by the soft skills and only the 20% upon the domain skills. Google also did a study, and even there they find that the employees who excelled in the interpersonal skills, they excelled better than the ones who were good in their technical expertise alone. So if it is combined, that both the technical skills and the soft skills both are combined, then there is no looking back. There is no one who can stop you from your success, whatever you want to do. So for today, we are going to work upon these 7 skills. So as you can see the list, it is self-image, appearance, communication skills, empathy, decision making, problem solving, and interpersonal relation. So these are the 7 skills which we are going to talk about today. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now, one question might come to your mind, that is it possible to cover all these things and learn everything in just 2 hours? The obvious answer is no, but we will work upon it, and I will give you certain tips which, if over time you would be working upon, then you will attain them for sure. So the first skill, as we said, is the self-image. So now the question might arise that what is self-image? Before we answer that question, I would like you to think about it, that if we create a poll or if we do a poll and somebody asks you that which has been the biggest pandemic, was it swine flu, Spanish flu, COVID 19, SARS, or the poor self esteem and self image? So the answer would be poor self image and self esteem. And why so? Because all these other pandemics, they ended at least after certain years. But the poor self image or self esteem was something which has been running over ages, and still it is there. So, this is a pandemic which has never ended. So, we need to work upon it. And it's high time that each and every person should work upon all these things. Now, we are going to see that what self-image includes. So self-image is, if I say that it is a kind of limitations or the boundaries which we define around ourselves. This is something which we say, okay, this is what I can do, and this is something which is out of my reach. I cannot do or achieve this particular thing. This is what self-image is. And do you think that we are born with this self image? The answer is no. Nobody is born with any self image. They develop this self image over the period of time when they come in contact with people, when people give them the feedback that you are such a person or you behave like this is what you do. With all these feedbacks which we keep getting from people over the period of time, that builds a self image about us within our mind. So, let me just tell you about it, that how does it work. For this, I would like to tell you something, that whatever we can do is actually defined in this manner. That suppose it is a box which is the real limits, that this is what I can do. So, for example, if I talk about myself, as I'm an image consultant and a chartered accountant, so I have knowledge about these two fields. But in case somebody asks me that Neha, you do something which is like in sports, that you be the captain over there, or you play on behalf of India. But I know that this is my real limit. I have never ever played cricket, I know, or some other sport, and I know that this is a real limit, and I cannot perform at least at India level. I may play with my kids or something like with my friends, but I cannot represent a country. I have no skill for that. So that is my real limit. But if inside this real limit, I also self impose certain limits on myself. And these self imposed limits could be that as I am a mother, so, or maybe like now I have attained a certain age, so I cannot do certain things. It could be something like being a chartered accountant, I although I have that particular knowledge, but I have not been practicing for a few years, so now I cannot practice anymore, or I cannot do anything with whatever I have learned. So now what I'm doing, I'm just self imposing certain limits on myself. Maybe if I would start revising everything, and if I work hard for it, and I get the support from my team members and all, then I would be able to do something which I have been working for so many years. So, what I need to do is that I need to break those self imposed limits, and I should try to make this box as big as or as closer to my real limits. So, this is what is called coming out of your self image. That you should have that self image that whatever you feel you can do is actually what you can do. It should be just as close to the real limits. It should not be certain thing that although you have that caliber, you have that talent, but then too something is there which you are imposing on yourself, which is stopping you from getting that success. And in case you are able to reach that particular square or with that particular limit, then that would be the limit of your peak performance. You would be performing at the best of yourself. Let me just give you one example about the self image. And this is the story of an elephant. So, what happens that when an elephant has to be placed in a zoo, then they mostly bring the baby elephant. They never get the over like wholly grown elephant, a big elephant, they never get. They always try to get a small one. And why do they do so is that they always then tie the elephant with a small rope to a tag. And now, because it is a small baby elephant, that elephant is not able to pull out the tag or just free itself from that particular limit. And over the period of time, the baby elephant starts feeling that I cannot get rid of this particular thing, and I can never be able to escape from here. And this image of that particular elephant gets so much engrossed into it that one day when that elephant grows up and becomes so big that it can not just take out that tag, but it can do anything. It can even break a pillar or anything. It is able to do whatever it wants, but then too it remains tied to the same peg, and it never gets escaped from there. And why does it happen? Because that elephant has that self image that now I cannot get rid of uh, this peg, and it remains tied with that small rope and peg for its whole life. So this is how the self image impacts us, and it is not just about the animals. Let me give you a real life example, and this is the example of a girl named Preeti. So, we are going to talk about Preeti's weight loss journey. So, now this cheerful girl who was in her mid 30s, she used to believe that she can never lose weight. And this is because she used to have cravings for the sweets or anything. And she was like, I cannot control my cravings. And never can I be able to lose the weight. Now, one day when she got frustrated from her health issues and this weight loss and all weight and all those things, so she went to a dietitian. And when she went to the dietitian, then after having conversation with her, she just came feeling fired up, and she was like, now I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to transform myself. And from the next day onwards, she started working upon it. She started controlling her diet, her portions. She started counting her portions. She started exercising. And after 15 days or a month, she started noticing the difference. She started noticing that she was actually losing weight and was feeling active. Now, what happened? That something like after this, she was feeling very good. But then something strange started happening. Her brain started noticing that there is something inconsistent which is happening. One thing is that her brain was saying her self image was such that I am someone who cannot lose weight. And on the other hand, it was that I need to eat healthy, I need to control my portions, I need to exercise. These things were happening. So her mind got divided into two things. And now, what happened that our brain is actually has been conditioned in such a manner that it wants to make us consistent with our self image. Whatever we think about ourselves, our brain will start working on those things. And actually, this is the reason why people say that you should always think positive. So now her brain wanted her to bring back to her original self or the old self, which was that she can never lose weight or she cannot she cannot have control over her cravings. So now what started happening is that one day she skipped after this 1 month and all, she skipped her exercise because she was feeling that I'm too tired for today and okay, let's take a break only for today. Now, after that, another day, what happened that she had one cookie. She was like, okay, it's just one cookie which I'm having, or it's okay. And over a period of time, now what happened? This habit of hers became consistent. And now again, she came back to her real self or her old self, which was that she started stopping the workout, she stopped exercising, she started binge eating for the snacks and cakes and everything. And very soon she was back to her original weight. Now, Preeti again became to the version which she always had in her mind that I am someone who can never lose weight. So, this is what self image is all about. So, you need to think about it that what are you thinking about yourself? So, what do we learn from Preeti's story? That in case you want to change yourself, first start changing your self image. First, start thinking about it that you are someone who can do it. You need to have that strong emotion within yourself. So, now we have this thing that what is that one belief about yourself that might be holding you back, and how can you rewrite that story? So you all need to note it down for yourself that what is that one thing which is holding you back, and you need to control that particular thing. And how do you want to rewrite your story? This is something you need to do. And if you whenever your brain is saying something, no, it is inconsistent with what you were feeling about yourself, then read that thing again, that this is where I need to be. So, this was about the first winning skill, which is the self image. Now, let's talk about the second skill. The second skill is about appearance. And as we all are professionals, so like I will not give any theory or something about it. I'll just give you three strategies for power dressing, which will help you in your professional journeys. So, the strategy number one is that you should. Okay, just give me a second. Now, when it comes to appearance, many a times people feel that why should we actually work upon it? That what is the need? And as we all CAs are, we work upon it too hard to get into all these things, then we say that let our work speak for us. But sometimes it is very much essential for us to create that first impression, because when you have to start working upon it, now there are so many people who have the similar qualification, then how will you stand out? So to stand out, you need to have that first impression, and what that first impression is. So as soon as you enter a room, and like where you don't know the other person and the other person doesn't know you, then within first 7 seconds both of you will make an image about each other, and that image will have these things about them. That is, the person will assess your values, the authority level which you might be in, the trustworthiness, whether you can trust the other person or not, the personality which the people have, that maybe sometimes through your face expression. Don't you think that sometimes people say, oh, this person seems to be very rude, although they might have never talked to them? Or about the intelligence level, just through looking at some people, some people start feeling, oh, this person looks very intelligent, and this one, I doubt whether he would be having this much knowledge or not. And even the economic background, for this we also had so many movies in which people tried to portray that, okay, we are someone from the rich family or we are someone from the poor family, and through changes in their dress up only they were able to change that particular thing. So that shows that the way we appear, it also tells about our economic background. So when these many things are assessed about us, so why not have that particular impression? Because we all need to wear something every day. So why not just give some time or some thought into what image do we want to portray in others' mind? What do we want from others? How do we want us to be perceived by others? So for that, the appearance, the work upon appearance is important. And I would just like to tell you one thing, that when we appear good or we work upon how do we look, then people think that it means we are giving importance to ourselves, that we are thinking about how we are looking. So we are investing our time upon that. And then they feel that this is the person who would also be taking care of not just themselves, but also the work which we would be providing to them. So this is also one of the very important uh, thing or skill which people should understand to have if they want to create an impression on others. That along with your technical skills, along with whatever knowledge you have, please work upon your appearance too. Now, let's get ahead with the strategies. As I was saying, that we will be discussing 3 strategies for um, power dressing. So, number one is create contrast to draw attention. Now, just see through this picture. Because there is a contrast in between all the black pencils, and like the red pencil is having a contrast, and this is why it is standing out. People can easily notice this. So the similar thing is what you need to do. That whenever you dress up, then you should try to create a contrast. And a contrast is done in such a manner that the more lighter color, the lighter colors, they attract attention, and the darker colors, they recede. So we need to create a contrast between the light and the dark. Now, if you want, well, like in your professional journey, what do we want is that we want people's attention towards our face, like whatever we are speaking or our work, and not on any other body part of us. So what we should try to do is that we should try to create a contrast near our face. And we should try to create a focal point that people's attention should come only towards our face. So, what do we need to do is that we should try to wear darker clothes on the other parts of the body, like our bottom color, like the trousers and the skirts should be worn should be darker in color, and the lighter color clothes should be worn on the upper part. The shirts and all that should be in the light color. Now, we also need to create a contrast near our face. So that contrast could be with the help of the scarf, or it could be with the help of tie, or so many, like it could be through kerchief, through jewelry. So this is how you can work upon it. Now, as you can see in this picture, that there is a sharp contrast between the color of the shirt and the tie color. Also, there is a contrast between the color of the shirt and the blazer. So now, just in case it is too hot and the person takes out the jacket, then also there remains a contrast between the tie and the shirt, which again draws attention towards his neck. So, this is something which we should work upon. And this is why this person is wearing a kerchief or even a tie pin. So, all these things are doing nothing, but they are bringing our attention towards his face. And the focal point over here in this picture would be near his face only, would be either on the tie pin or on the color of the kerchief. So, this is where our attention is going. And this is what exactly we want whenever we are in the professional environment. We want people's attention towards our face only so that they focus upon what we are saying and what are we presenting. Now, the contrast could be between the tie and the shirt also, as I have shown you, as I told even in the last picture. Also, this contrast could be attained with the help of scarves and with the suits. Even for the girls as well, the contrast could also be attained through the change in the or different color of the collar and the scarf again as it is visible in this picture. This contrast can also be attained through the design elements. If you have some design on the collar, then the attention will go towards there. So this was the first strategy for power dressing, that you should try to create contrast near your face. Now we are switching to the second strategy for power dressing, and this is about coordinating your accessories. And mind it, this is a very important one, and this is where many a times people they just ignore that these are very small things, but sometimes they are the image breakers. So let's learn about how to coordinate those accessories as well. And so whenever we are wearing any accessories, so for men or even for women, well, most of the time, whenever we wear the trousers, we need to keep in mind that our belt color should match the color of the shoes. Also, the thing that the metals which are being used in the belt should match with the other metals, whatever are there. So, just in case even the shoes have some metal, if it is, suppose they have a brooch or something on the shoes and it is silver in color, then we should try to have the belt which also has the silver color buckle. So this is something which we should work upon, that we should or if I say it in easy language, it is like leathers should match the leather. So if it is a leather belt, then black leather with the black shoes, yeah, or brown leather with brown shoes. Metals should match the metal, silver, all the silver should be there. If it is gold, then all the golds should be there. And the same thing goes with even the watches. So if you are wearing a silver watch, then the buckle of the belt should also be silver. So all the metals should match. So that gives a harmony actually. Now this is something which is very important, that when it comes to socks, the socks should match the trousers. Socks are considered to be the extension for the trousers. Socks need not match the shoes. Shoes need to match with the belt, and the sock should match the trousers. So just I will show you a few pictures where that will make you that even clearer. So as I told you, the accessories coordination will be in this manner. Like see over here, it was like silver, 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 and if it is gold, then everywhere it has to be gold. And if it is black leather, then everything should be in black. Even the backpack or the bag which you would be carrying, the laptop bag or something. So if you are wearing black shoes, then your bag should also be black in color. So whenever you are going for shopping next, don't just look for the things which you find are good. Also just see to it if they you would be able to coordinate them with the other things which you already have. So do mindful shopping from now. Okay. Now, the next strategy or the strategy number 3 is that nothing in your appearance should distract. Because as I told you that in our professional journey or whenever we are working in the professional environment, we just work, we want people's focus on our work only. So nothing in your appearance should be such that which would distract. I would show you a few examples. Like we should always avoid tight fitting clothes, because these tight fitting clothes, they will draw people's attention towards you. Also, any sort of skin show is also a big no no in the professional environment, because that attracts inappropriate attention. Next is that over accessorizing. So these sort of accessories and all are not at all recommendable when it comes to professional environment, because they would distract people's mind towards not your work but what you are wearing, which you would never want. Now over here I would like to show you the example of this one. Now, this girl has been beautifully dressed, but this mobile phone in her pocket is something which is attracting attention. So, when she would be giving any presentation and walking in front or talking in front of the public, then people's attention will go towards her phone only. Now, this is something which we should try to avoid. So, whatever is there, whenever you are coming in front of people, see to it that what is the focal point. And to find that focal point, it is the easiest way to do that is just close your eyes, stand in front of the camera and, sorry, in front of the mirror, and open your eyes. See where your eyes are going when you see yourself in the first instant, and that is actually the focal point. So there only the people's attention will go. So over here, as it was going towards her phone, so that is something which we would avoid. Also, just see to it that this man has been perfectly dressed, good contrast between the shirt and the coat. But when he would be talking, then people's attention will go towards these socks of his. So this is something which will distract everybody's attention, and people will start just looking at his socks and not to what he would be saying. So this will actually not be able, people will not be able to maintain eye contact with this person. They would be looking downwards only towards his socks, which we don't want. So this is why we should avoid any kind of distraction which could be there in our appearance. So these were the three strategies which we have worked about in the power dressing. So the first strategy is that create a contrast near your face. Second is coordinate your accessories. And the third one is that nothing in your appearance should distract. So these are the three things which we should work upon. Now let's quickly work upon our third winning skill, and that is the communication skills. Now, when it comes to communication skills, people feel that communication skill is nothing but just like normal talking, what we do. But let me mind you, friends. First of all, we need to we need to change our mindset about this. The quality, it has been said that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of your communication. And this is why communication is so important. Now we need to understand that people are motivated for their own reason. If somebody is coming and they want to talk to you, then it is what they want to listen is for their benefit. They don't want to listen for you. So you need to keep this thing in mind that whatever I say, if that is beneficial to the other person, or if the other person finds benefit in that, then only that person is going to listen to me. So you should start thinking from that point of view, and then according to that, you need to communicate. So today, I will not say that this is how you should speak or this is what you should speak, but I would rather work upon your listening skills. So, the first thing or the most important thing about communication is not just talking, it is listening. So, today we are going to also talk about that how to develop these listening skills. So to develop listening skills, the most practical way of doing that particular thing is by asking questions. Now you might be thinking that is it real? that can we communicate by just asking the questions? The answer is yes. Okay. And let me just give you a few steps for the effective listening skills. So, number one is that we should listen without interrupting, with interest and total focus. When you are all ears to the other person, then the other person also feels that, okay, I am important for this person. So they will automatically start giving you respect. They will also listen to you when you would be talking. So the first thing which should do is that we should listen without interrupting. Rapt attention is highest level of flattering. You cannot even imagine that how much that person would love you, that in case you start listening to them without interrupting at all. The next thing which you can do is that if somebody comes to you and speaks something, then before speaking something else, when that other person is done with whatever they wanted to share with you, just have a pause for 3 to 5 seconds before replying. This pause will not only give you time that what you should say, but also will make the other person feel that yes, this person has listened to me carefully, and now this person is trying to help me out, or this person is having feelings for me. So, this is something which you should understand, that this shows that you are considering what has been said. The next step for effective listening is question for clarification. You can ask the question that is this what you want to say? Am I understanding it correctly? I just hope that I am not wrong, but is this what you are saying? So you can just clarify the things. And when you start asking all these things, then the other person will understand that you genuinely have that interest in listening to them. And also, that person would be able to understand that, yeah, you both are on the same page. Now, the next important thing is feed it back. So, feed it back means that paraphrase in your own words. As I told you, that when you have to ask the question for clarification, you can also paraphrase the same thing, whatever they have said, in your own language, and then ask, like, is this like this is what I have understood from our conversation? I hope I am correct, or just let me know if I am wrong in anything. Then that person would clearly be able to tell you, or would be glad that you have heard them right and you have understood what it has to be done. So now, also, there is one thing which I would like to share, that this whole word belongs to askers only. Just imagine a situation when we used to be in the schools or in the colleges. Then people or the teachers used to ask us questions. And then we used to think about it that, okay, this is, if the teacher is going to ask me this question, then what do I need to speak? What all would be the particular answer for that? So now a scientific study says that our talking speed is 80 to 100 words per minute, and our listening speed is 400 to 500 words per minute. And this is why sometimes you might even imagine that when you are talking to someone, you can always overhear what other people are saying. So, this is because our listening speed is much higher than our talking speed. So, when we talk, only 20% of our mind is occupied, and the rest of our mind remains wandering here and there. So, since childhood, when our teachers used to ask us questions, then we used to be in such a condition that we used to feel like, okay, I need to give this answer, I need to give this answer. And when you ask a question, then the other person's total focus lies upon you only. Their focus lies upon answering you only, and that attracts the full attention. So in our professional journey also, or we just want people's attention to what we want to say. And how will that happen? That when you start asking them questions, that is this what you want to say, by clarifying and all those things. So now, as I said, that maybe you would be thinking that is it, can we communicate only in the form of questions? Will that do the deed? Then the answer is yes. And let me give you a framework of how you can answer those, you can ask questions and communicate. And we call this as the ACE technique. ACE is ACE, where A stands for ask, C is to clarify, and E is to encourage. So ask open ended questions. So, for example, instead of just asking, are you good now? So, if I ask, like, are you good? Then the person will have only two answers, yes or no. But in case I ask the person that, how are you feeling? Or how are you doing today? Then the other person will have so many things to tell me. So, whenever you are asking anything from anyone, when you want to communicate with the other people, you need to ask open ended questions. Number two, what do you need to do is when that person you have asked the open ended question, then clarify. Have a follow up question on that particular answer. And now, when you have got that the answer for that question also, then encourage them or inspire them with something, whatever you say. And that will move your conversation further. Let me just give you a few examples. Now, suppose that you asked your son or your daughter had a presentation in the school, and you asked them, "How did your presentation go today?" And then their reply could be, "It went okay, but I was nervous at the start." So now this is what you have done. You have asked first an open-ended question that how was your presentation? And now the person has told that they were nervous in the starting. Now you can again ask them a follow-up question. This is the C, clarification question. That what part of the presentation made you most nervous? Now their reply would be, I think it was the Q&A session. I wasn't sure how the audience would react. So now we are done with the C. Now comes the E part, that is the reflection question. How could you do? What could you do next time to feel more confident during the Q&A session? And now that person can say one or two things. Even you can also help them out that okay, these are the techniques which you can follow for the presentation to have more confidence and all such things. So this is how the ACE technique works. Let me just give you another example. Suppose you ask someone that how have you been feeling lately? Suppose you met any friend of yours and you have met them after a long time. Then you might be asking them that how have you been feeling? And that person will say that I have been feeling little stressed, to be honest. Now we are done with A. Now the C. Follow up question. What has been stressing you out? Is it something specific or just that the things are piling up? Now, this was the C part, the clarification question. Their reply could be that it's mostly balancing the home responsibilities and finding time for myself. This is what keeping me stressed. Now, you need to ask the encouraging question, and that is what's that one small thing that you can do for yourself this week to feel a bit more relaxed? Now, this is a conversation starter. Now, that friend of yours can say, yeah, this is why I'm here. I just wanted to spend some time, some quality time with a good friend of mine, which is you. Or that person can say that, yeah, I would try to book a like maybe a therapy session for myself or something, whatever it could be. So, that is just a conversation starter, and then you can go ahead with that. So, now do you see that how we are communicating with the people by just asking questions from them? So, this is more about listening and not about talking. This is what we need to learn, that if we start talking to people in that particular manner, then people will always come to you to talk or to tell everything, whatever they are feeling. Now, with this, we come for the fourth skill of ours, which is empathy. Now, I hope you know the difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is something which people don't like that anybody should have for them, because that gives them the feeling that, oh, bechara kind, so that person doesn't have this thing, so let's do some charity for them or such things. Nobody likes to be in that zone. But having empathy with any person is something which attracts friends. It is something what people need at this hour. But having empathy is little difficult. So let me first tell you that what is empathy? Empathy is connecting with someone by understanding and sharing their feelings. As if you are putting shoes into their shoes and trying to understand that how that person might be feeling. And the important thing over here when it comes to empathy is that you need to be present in that moment and in that emotion, and you need to have that connection with the other person, and you need to understand this particular thing, that you are not the one who is fixing their problem. They don't want their problem to be solved by you. They're not looking for any solution. They just want someone with whom they could share their emotions. They just want someone to be with at that particular point of time, who can understand them, who can empathize with them. So now people say that, okay, I am someone who is very empathetic, but it is actually very difficult to be empathetic. And let me tell you that why is it that difficult to have empathy with anyone? Number one, empathy requires vulnerability. Sometimes what can happen that when you are trying to get into others' emotion, your own emotions might you might get trapped into your own emotions, which can make you feel uncomfortable. And this is why people try not to get into that particular zone. So empathy is something which requires vulnerability. You need to be present in that particular person's emotion as they are feeling. You need to have that particular feeling. Now, another important thing, or maybe the thing that why it is difficult for us to empathize with anyone, is that we all have that instinct to fix the problem. You can just think about yourself, just honestly try to think about it, that the moment somebody tells you about their problem, isn't it that we try to fix that particular problem? We all come up with the solutions, whatever we might be having in our brain, or whether it will work or not, or we have tried it or not. We just try to give that particular solution to any person. So now this is something which sometimes lends up in a situation where the other person starts feeling that this person doesn't have empathy for me. So this is something which we should try to control, that we should not try to offer the solutions. Instead, just listen to what the other person is saying. And in case they ask you, if they themselves are asking that, do you have any solution to my problem? Then only try to advise them. Now, the next thing or reason why it is difficult to have empathy with anyone is discomfort with difficult emotions. That whenever there is any such thing, or sometimes it is difficult to connect also. Might be that the other person is telling you such a thing which you have never been into, and it is difficult for you to understand that why is like how should I react. So, facing someone else's pain could be sometimes overwhelming. This is also the thing. And also, sometimes we feel that in case we say something when that other person would be sharing their emotions, we might say something which is wrong or which might hurt the feelings of the other person. This is why people feel that it might be difficult to be empathetic or to be in such a zone. So this thing actually requires a whole lot of process, and it requires like even you should have control over your emotions before you start empathizing with others. Now I will give you few rules through some examples, that how you can be empathetic and what are the things which can go wrong, which you should always avoid if somebody is coming up to you with something which they are suffering through. So, for example, if there is a situation and you You tell them, yeah, I have also suffered the same. I know you are not alone. So many people have such problem. So let me just tell you a situation. So your friend tells you that he has lost his job. Now, this is something which is very important to that person. And your reply is that, oh, that's nothing. I had it, and it was even worse when I had it. So now, what this answer is doing is that your friend will start feeling that you are dismissing their feelings. You're dismissing that what they are feeling is nothing. So it means, in a manner, they feel disrespected. They feel that whatever feelings they are having, they don't count anywhere. It is just you only who is important, or your feelings only, which are very important or which are bigger than their own feeling. So now that would create a disconnect between you and your friend. So this is something which should we should all always avoid, that never ever say, yeah, even I have felt the same, and you are not all alone who has suffered with this particular problem. So the better way of saying this would be, I know how overwhelming this can be, and I went through similar situation, but I'm here for you anytime. If you need me, I'm there. If you want to have any conversation, I'm there for you. Now, rule number two, that you should avoid saying the at least statements. What does this mean? That when sometimes we say that at least you have this thing, at least you have that thing. Let me just tell you through an example. So, this is a situation where your relative tells you that they have lost a huge amount in stocks. Okay, now they are feeling bad because they have suffered such a big loss. And you say that at least you still have your job. Now just think about it. What that other person might have felt. They might be feeling, oh, this person doesn't have any empathy with me. This person doesn't know what I am going through. They are dismissing my feelings. They are dismissing that whatever is happening with me is something which is not important. So, again, the same thing. They feel disrespectful. So, what would be the better answer for this? It is that that might be difficult to deal with right now. I understand, and I'm there for you. So, always just remember, you need to tell or remind the other person that I am there for you in case you need me. So, be there whenever you need to empathize with anyone. Make them feel that you are always there with them, with whatever be the situation, and don't try to fix their problems unless and until they themselves ask you that this is what we want help in. Now, let's give, or this is like rule number three, and it is like don't fix or minimize the situation, although we have talked about this as well. Now, this is the another example where a friend tells you that he has broken up with his girlfriend, and you say that you will get over this soon. It's not that bad. Like, it's okay. You will be fine soon. Now, again, this person is feeling that you have dismissed their feelings. And what could be the better way of saying this is that I can see that this is tough for you. And let me tell me more about how you are feeling and how can I help you. So, this is what you can ask them. Now, the next one is rule number four, and this is that be present without judgment. This is something which you always should have whenever you want to empathize with anyone. Don't be judgmental. Everybody is correct in their own zone. So don't judge them for anything. So, for example, your sister tells you that she has been very upset as she had a fight with your mother. Now you need not be being impartial, only you could be empathetic. Okay, don't take the side of either your sister or your mother, although both are close to you. So now the wrong way of handling is like, why are you getting so upset about this? So this makes them feel that you are judging them, and they would feel even worse than whatever they are feeling. Now, the better way of saying the like better way of tackling this situation is that you can say, I'm here for you. Take your time to talk through, and I'm just here to listen. Whatever you want, I'll hear. Whatever you want to convey or what you want to share, I'm there for you. Now, rule number five. is offer connections, not solutions. This you have already got. That now again, let's take it through an example that your friend tells you that she is feeling quite depressed from the last few days. So the wrong way of saying this could be, here is what you should do. Like you can start telling them a number of things which they can do. You can do swimming or you can join some sports. So this is what we do mostly. But they are not looking for any solutions. What you should do is, I don't know what to say right now, but I'm glad that you shared this with me. How can I best support you? So ask questions from them. Let them figure out what they think would be the best solution for their problem. Be there with them. This is what empathy is all about. I hope I am clear on this point. So now let's quickly move ahead with the fifth skill, and that is the decision making. Now, this is something which is very tricky, but we are going to work upon the practical tips for that. So, when it comes to decision making, then we have to just think about it that mostly our decisions are of two types. One would be the small decisions, another would be the big decisions. So, when it comes to the small decisions, then we have a 2 minute rule. I'll tell you that in detail. And when it comes to the big decisions, then there is a whole lot of process which you can follow. So let's quickly go move ahead with our 2 minute rule. And this is meant only for the small decisions. So the small decision could be that suppose if you have a meeting, whether I should keep this meeting in the morning or in the evening. Okay, this is a very small thing which you need to decide. And then what you should do is just take less than 2 minutes to decide it. If you are a kind of person who has difficulties in making decision, then this is what you should do. Within 2 minutes, just see to it, whatever it is. And whatever decision you have taken, that okay, suppose for the meeting you have given morning time, now just see to it that whatever work, whatever schedule you have, then just schedule it according to the meeting which you have fixed. Now try to work upon the thing that whatever decision has been made, now I will stick to this particular decision unless and until it becomes very impractical to follow. Okay. So for the small decisions, just don't take more than 2 minutes to decide. And what will happen in case you start doing this, then this will reduce the decision fatigue. The time which we take, oh, should I do this thing? Now, if I keep the meeting in the morning, then maybe in the evening I will have to work upon it again. And so many things could be there. So, what if you have just taken the decision that in the morning I'll have the session? Then just make the schedule accordingly. So now that one thing has been settled, but in case you want to decide within the first 2 minutes, then you will keep on just chasing the things that, okay, this is what I should do or that should I do. And by the time you will make the decision, the time for the meeting might have already gone. Now, just let's also the another thing which we can use is by using the 80-20 rule. And this rule says that we should focus 20% on the actions that will give 80% of the results. So this will depend upon our doing the over analysis, because over analysis leads to paralysis. So what we should do is that what are those 20% actions which I should do, which will give 80% of the results. So your whole focus, whenever you are making your schedules for any work or whatever the thing is, then your whole attention should go towards those 20 actions. And this will help you in maximizing your impact and making you a big, good professional, will help you in your success. Now, for example, if a project has 10 tasks and you need to then identify that what are those two tasks which are most important and which you cannot even delegate. So then start doing those two tasks first, or you focus upon those two tasks, and rest of the 8 tasks you can delegate. So this is what the decision making works like. Now let's come to the bigger decisions. And there we are going to work upon the what, why, and how rule. So what do you need to do is that when it comes to bigger decisions, now just break down your decision into three clear questions. And those questions are, what decision am I making? That what is it which I need to decide? Why is it important? Why do I need to decide upon this particular thing? And the next one is, how do I do it? So, what will happen that once you start visualizing your problems or whatever you need to work upon, if you break them into these three simple questions, that will bring a whole lot of clarity to what you want to do, and that will help you in making decisions quicker. So, for example, what I need to decide whether I have to delegate this task. Why, suppose this is the question, that what do I need to decide? I need to decide whether I should delegate this task to others or not. Now, the question is, why? Why do I want to delegate the task to others? The answer is, it will free up your time to do the high priority task. Okay. Now, how can I do that? How can I delegate that task? The same question. How can I delegate now that task? By assigning it to someone who has the right skills to do that particular thing. And once you have got that particular person, just delegate that task and you are sorted. So this is how the decision making works. So just mind it. There are two types of decisions. One is the small decisions and another is decisions. For small decisions, you can go by the 2 minute rule. And when it comes to the big decisions, either go by the questions what, why, and how, or otherwise you can use the Pareto method, which is the 80-20 rule, that you just focus upon those 20 actions. And this is those 20% of the actions. And this is something which is applicable for whatever we do, that it is mostly 20% of the tasks which do 80% of the job, and the rest 80% of the task help in doing the 20% of the work. So you need to focus upon those two actions which will do the 80% of the work, and that will lead to success. Now, another important thing. Suppose some decision is very much complex and it is very difficult for you to decide that what should I do. Even that what, how, and why thing is not working. So in that case, set a time limit. Set a time limit for that particular complex decision. And if you have set the deadline that, okay, by this time I will make the decision what I need to do. And even if that decision is something, then and just do it by writing on a paper. If you start writing on the paper, write down the pros and cons of it, and then set a deadline that, okay, within 1 hour now I'm going to decide whatever I need to do. Now if you just focus upon that particular decision and you work upon it dedicatedly, then you will see to it that you will be able to free up your mind very easily, and you would be able to decide quickly as well. If you will keep on just lingering it, or keep on thinking that, okay, or procrastinating the thing that, okay, yeah, I will make that decision, I will think about it little later. If you will keep on doing that particular thing, then what all other work you would be doing, your brain will be engaged in that particular question only, or that particular problem only, that, oh, you need to make that decision as well. So, first, as they say, that eat the biggest frog first. So, what do you need to do is that whatever that big decision or a complex decision is there, just do it right now, right away, get sorted with it, and then go ahead with your work. So, I hope this will also help. So, for example, if it is like I'll research this option today and finalize my decision by 5 p.m. tomorrow, then just stick to whatever you have been thinking about, or whatever you have decided, just do it. The next thing is, what you can do is you can evaluate the risk and the your approach, like what is the thing which can go worst, what is the best which I can do, what are the likely things which can happen. So these are also the ways, as I told you, that start writing on the piece of paper, and you can mix match these 2 3 techniques. Like you can set the timer that, okay, by tomorrow I will make this decision, and then you can start through this approach, that what is the worst that could happen if I take this decision. Then on the other side, write down what would be the best thing that could happen and what is most likely. what are the maximum chances, what are the things which can happen. And this will help you to weigh the risk. You would be able to see, okay, this is the best which I can do, this is the worst that could happen, and these are the most likely chances. And then when you start writing on a piece of paper, you will have a lot more clarity about it, and you would be able to decide. So, if I take this job, now suppose somebody is having this particular question in their mind or decision that whether I should take a particular job offer or not. Now, see how that person can go ahead. If I take this job offer, then the worst case is I don't enjoy it. And the best thing is I grow in my career. And what is the most likely thing? It will be challenging but rewarding. So now, if you are okay with it, that okay, I'm good with handling the challenges, I will go ahead with this, then it is now it has become easier for you that you should go with that job. But in case you feel that you are not going to enjoy this particular job, and that is more important for you, rather than having that growth in the career, if you want that this is like I want to be happy more than my growth, happiness is more important for me, then in that particular case you can deny for that particular job. Okay, so this is how we go about it. So now, till now, we have covered the six skills. So the first one was the self image, second was the appearance, third was the communication skills, fourth was having the empathy with others, and fifth, that is what we've done just now, was the decision making. And in that also, we learned so many practical ways of handling this particular or learning this particular skill. Now let's move to the sixth most important skill, and that is the problem solving. This is mostly where our brain mostly remains occupied. Either it would be the decision making thing or the problem solving. So now, when it comes to problem solving, you need to identify that actually what is the problem which I need to solve. So you need to first identify the real problem before you go ahead for solving it. And just believe you me that it is mostly that people are solving the wrong problems, which is why they are not able to solve their problems. They don't know that what the actual problem is. So now today we are going to understand that how can we reach to our actual problems. So for that we have the 5 why rule. And this 5 why rule will help us in getting to the depth of the real problems which we face. So, while identifying the real problem, we need to understand that what is the root cause of whatever problem we are facing these days. So, that root cause is something which we need to identify. Because what happens that in case you don't even know that what the real problem is, then your time and energy gets wasted in solving the other things, which actually are not problems. So let me help you with this. So that what is this 5 why technique? So the 5 why technique is that you need to keep on asking yourself the question why over and over again till the time you reach the root cause of it. Okay. And mostly it happens that till the third or the fourth why also you will get your problem solved or you will find your root cause. But sometimes it could even be 5 to 7 whys also. So which is okay. You need not stick to it that it has to be only 5 whys. Let me just help you out that how do we do that. Suppose for a simple like if a person thinks that my day is very chaotic, I feel that my day is very chaotic and unproductive every day. Now, this is a problem. Now, that person needs to ask the first why. That why is my day so chaotic and unproductive? This is the first why. Now, the answer could be like, why do I feel so chaotic? Because I did not complete my important tasks. Now, this was the first why. Now, again, ask the question based upon this only. Why didn't I complete my important task? This is the second why. The answer to this could be because I spent most of my time in doing the unproductive or the low priority activities. This is why the highest priority activities or something which was very important for me, I could not complete that. So, this was the answer to the second why. Now, again, ask yourself the question upon this: why did I spend my time on unplanned or the low priority activities? Why did I do so? Suppose the answer is because didn't have a clear to-do list or the priorities set for the day. So I just thought that whatever struck me that I have to do this, I started doing working upon that. This is why I ended up with this. Then this was the answer for third why. Now again ask the question for this answer that why didn't you have that clear to-do list or the priorities? Now the answer to this could be because I didn't plan my day the night before. And now ask the fifth why. Why didn't I plan my day the night before? And now the answer could be because I was too tired and didn't have consistent evening routine. Now see, this is the root cause of that particular person, or this is the root problem which that person has to is facing, that they don't have consistent evening routine. They don't have time set for their dinner or for their chores, whatever thing is there. So now what that person has to do is that person need to have that consistent evening so that they can plan their day ahead. And if they start doing that particular thing, they would always be doing the task which is of high priority in time, and then their day would not be chaotic. So, this is how you can solve your problems, whatever you have been thinking. So, you need to just think about it, that suppose whatever be your problem, just ask yourself the first why, that why am I facing all this thing? Have the answer for it. Then again ask for that particular answer, that why is this happening? And keep on doing for your whys till you get that root cause. And then work upon that root cause, and that will help you in solving whatever problem you are facing. So I hope that this would be fruitful and you would be able to gain through this. So now let's move ahead with our seventh and the last winning skill, which is the interpersonal skill. And mind it, this is a very important skill. This is not like last but not the least one, rather, this is the most important one. So, interpersonal relationship, which is something very, very important. And in my journey in ISABS, which is Indian Society for Applied Behavioral Sciences, we are working, or we work upon the interpersonal relations only. So this is something which is very crucial, and we need to work upon it day and night. Then only you would be able to excel. So now, when it comes to interpersonal relation, you need to understand that there are two beliefs of excellence. And if you start thinking or you start believing in those two beliefs, then you would have great interpersonal relationships. Then your relationship with everyone is going to be awesome. And let me tell you that what are these two beliefs. Number one is that you need to understand that everybody makes the best choice available to them at the time they make it. Just think about yourself, that whenever somebody asks you or gives you an option that whether you want to do this or if you want to do that, you would always be picking up the best choice, isn't it? And actually, it is for everyone. Each and every person in this universe thinks like this only, that whatever options are available to them, out of those, they will pick the best choice which is available to them. And now, the second thing which you always need to believe is that behind every behavior, there is an unconscious positive intention. In case somebody behaves in any manner which you don't find that it was good, or you didn't receive it in a good manner, then might be the thing that there might be something which was happening at the other person's end, which you might not be aware of, because of which they behaved in that manner. So you need to understand this thing. And first of all, you need to have this belief system that nobody intentionally tries to do wrong. Everybody wants to do the best of whatever they can do, whether it comes to behavior or it comes to making choices. Everybody just wants to make the best choice and behave in the best manner. But in case somebody is hurting you or you feel that the other person has not behaved in the manner as you were expecting, then there might be certain things going behind it. And you need to work upon them and not on the other person's behavior. Let us just deep dive a bit dive a bit deeper into it. That when you believe that people act with the best intentions available to them, you respond with the understanding and not blame. When you start understanding the others, you start having that empathy with the others, then you would be able to visualize or feel that, okay, yeah, the manner in which the other person has behaved is actually correct. If I had been in their place, then maybe I would have also reacted in the same manner. So don't judge anyone. Rather, just try to understand that even their intentions was to do the best only, but it was maybe because of certain situations that they behaved in a particular manner. And once you start doing this, then just take it from me, you will be the best person. You will have the best interpersonal relations. So let's see that how does it work. So for this, you need to have perceptual position. Now, what does this perceptual position mean? Now, suppose you are this first person, which is written as the self. So now, first, think from your position and just try to imagine that what was your positive intention, or what was the positive intention which the other person might be having in the manner when they behaved that with you. So, from your point of view, just think about it. Now, think about it from the other person's point of view as well, that what would be the best intentions of you in behaving in particular manner. And then, being an observer, become a third person to it, and now see unbiasedly that if these two people had some conflict or something was happening between these two people, then what was it which went wrong? Where did their intentions, or actually the intentions were not wrong at all, like why did it happen that the behavior of one person was not according to the other person? And once you start finding out that thing, then you would be able to find the real problem or the root cause of that conflict, and then try to avoid that particular situation or tell the other people, maybe your friend, if you had a conflict with your friend, first try to see that what you have done in that particular situation, was it correct or not. Then think from the point of view of your friend, that the way you reacted, or in that particular situation, the way that person has reacted, was it correct or not? And then have the third person's perception as well. And you do it, this all this visualization, just do it yourself. And then see to it whether you are able to find the solution for your problem or not. And then just mind it, my friends, that you will never fall in any conflict situation. You would be all able to resolve them first. So these are we are going to now work upon the 6 steps of building the clarity in relationships. And actually, these are very much important, and you all need to work upon it in case you want to have good interpersonal relations. So, number one is, what do you want in this relationship? So, suppose now we are going to now work upon practically on certain thing. Now, just think about it. Maybe it is the relationship with your boss, and you want to work upon the relationships with that person. So now you need to write down and with like properly just pen it down, that what do you want in this relationship. Just pen down the things, and it could be something what you might be expecting is respect or better remuneration. So just take time to identify your needs and expectation and write down 5 7 points for it. Okay. Now, out of those 5 or 7 points, whatever you have written, that this is what you want in your relationship, then you need to figure out that what are the must haves and the should haves. Okay, just divide these 5 or 7 points into two parts. One is the must haves, like these are the non negotiable qualities, like I want this at least from my relationship with that person. And it could be like with anyone. If you want to work upon on the relationship with your family members or anyone, these rules they apply to every person, these tips. So now start dividing them into must haves and should haves. So the must haves will have the non negotiable qualities, that this is something which I want, come what may. Without this, this will not work. And the other will have the should haves, that these are desirable ones, that if you get this also, then also you would be, if you get this also, then it would be great. Okay, so like respect and honesty is something which you want, which cannot be you cannot go without them. So that would be the must have thing. And should have could be shared hobbies, similar schedules, or something, whatever you might be thinking of. Now, when it comes to must haves, then you need to understand what must you be to get what you want. You have just listed down the things that this is what I want from my relationship. But when it comes to relationship, it is about both the people. It is not just about me. It is not just about you. It has to be from both the sides. So now I have written that this is something I want. But am I the person who should get this? Am I eligible enough to get this? Like I am asking for respect from the other person, but am I giving that respect to the other person? This is something which you need to ask, that whether I am the person who deserves these qualities in the relationship from the other person. And in case you are deserving, then only you can ask for it. Right? So, this is something which we need to do. And in case you are not that person who deserves this thing, then be that person first. And then only think about it, or then only crib about it, that, oh, I don't have good relation with any particular person. Now, the next step. Now, the first one was like you have penned down the things which you have. Then you did, in the second step, you divided them into two must haves and the should haves ones. And then when the step number three was that you have to figure it out whether you deserve those things or not. And now comes the fourth step, which is, have you communicated what you want? Sometimes the other person doesn't even know that what you might be asking for, or what do you want from a relationship. Then maybe sometime you can just tell them, communicate with them, that this is what I want. So people aren't mind readers. Have you told the other person what you want from that relationship? And then practice saying this, that this is something which is important to me. Can I get this, please? Now, this is something which you need to work upon. Okay, so we need to communicate to the other person that this is what you are expecting. And then, before even just expecting everything, just also try to know that what the other person wants from your relationship. So, just in case you want a hike in your salary, then you need to ask from your boss that what is it which they are expecting from you. Is it like they want you to work upon some assignment or some project, or they want you to see outperform, they want to see you think out of the box? What is it which they want from that relationship? Or it could be even respect. Maybe you are expecting respect from them, but you might not be giving it to them. So you need to first understand that whether you are what you are doing to the other person. So interpersonal relationship is just like you need to behave first in the manner in which you want the other person to behave with you. Rather, come up with even a better behavior. Whatever best you can do, behave in that manner. So now the last step is, do you know what the other person wants from that relationship? And ask them that what matters most to you in this relationship. When you are going to tell them, that this is what is important for me, ask them also, please let me know that what is it which matters more for you? What do you want from our relationship? And then just think about it. Are you giving what you want? So, as I told you, that in case you want people to behave with you in some manner, then first you should behave with them in that particular manner. So, are you doing what is expected of you by the other person? So, in case you are doing so, then only you are eligible to ask for what you want from that particular relationship. So, from now onwards, the one thing which we are going to start today to improve our interpersonal relationship is you need to tell me that particular thing, and you can follow the 6 steps which we have just gone through. That what can you do, or how can you start with it? And the first thing for this was that you need to start preparing the list. Okay, so with this, we have come to the end of all the 7 skills which we have talked about today. And these winning skills are required for success in not just career, but in life also. There are so many other skills as well, but today we have talked about 7. I hope my pace was something which you all could go ahead with. It was clear or something. So, for more clarity, we will just quickly summarize all of them before we go ahead for the question and answer session. So, the first one was self image, the first skill. And in that, through the story of Preeti or the elephant, we got to know that how self image, building a negative self image, can hamper our growth. So, to have that success which we require from ourselves, we should first try to have that self image about ourselves. So, self image is how we see ourselves in our own mind. So, this is something which works upon how we act and how do we perceive ourselves. So, this is something which we all need to work upon. We need to have a good self image about ourselves. If we think good about ourselves, then only we are able to be a happy person and a successful person. The second step or the skill which we need to talk about is the appearance. And when it comes to appearance, we did the 3 strategies for powerful dressing. The first one is create a contrast near your face. The second strategy is that you should coordinate your accessories. And the third strategy was that nothing in your appearance should distract. So, if you work upon these and just make your appearance communicate confidence and credibility. Let people feel that you have that credibility or you are that knowledgeable person. So just think about it that it is not just the way we speak or the words which we speak which tell about us. It is also the clothes which we wear. They also create an image and talk to people about how we are. And even that happens even before we start talking. So we need to think about this as well. The third important skill was the communication skill. And when it comes to communication skill, it is not just the body language or the vocal tone or the verbal things which we say. Today, we also learned about it that it is the listening skills, which is even more important than when we are talking. So, we just need not work upon what we should say or how we should say. We should also work upon our listening skills. We should try to listen to others to be a good communicator. So, listening and questioning are the 2 pillars for effective communication. And while listening, we also worked upon the ACE technique, ACE. A stands for ask, C was to clarify, and E is to encourage the communication. Then, the third skill which we talked about was having empathy. Empathy builds trust and deeper relations by connecting emotionally and minded that you need not judge the other person and also don't try to fix their problems. You just need to be there with them in that particular situation. They don't need their problem to be fixed by you. They are not looking for solutions. So be empathetic. So, empathy is something which we need to work upon, and it is something which you will develop through time. It cannot happen in one day. None of these skill will actually. Now comes the fifth skill which we need to learn, and this was about the decision making skill. And when it comes to the decision making, then we said that there are two types of decisions which we mostly make. One would be the small decisions, another would be the big decisions. For the small decisions, use the 2 minute rule. For the big decisions, you need to work upon what, why, how, and this is how you will get the answer and you would be able to decide quickly. Then the sixth skill is the problem solving skill. When it comes to problem solving, then we need to first identify that what is the real problem or what is the root cause of the problem which we might be feeling that this is what which is bugging me. For to find out that root cause, we talked about the 5 whys. So for every problem which you have, start asking yourself that why am I facing this particular issue? Then when you get the answer for it, then ask the why for that particular answer and keep on going till you reach your root cause. And for there, you need to understand that it is not that exactly at 5 why you will get the answer. Sometimes you get even earlier than that. Sometimes you will have to ask more whys to it. Then the last and the most important one was the interpersonal skills. So for strong relations, you need to first have the greatest belief that everybody is doing the things or making the decisions which they consider to be the best ones or the right ones in that particular situation. So whenever it comes to these relations, then you need to have empathy with the others, understand them. Right? So strong relations are built on trust, respect, and clear communication. So with this, I end my session for today and I would like to leave you all with a quote that people are hired for their domain skills and fired because of soft skills. So please master these skills, then you will not just succeed, but you will thrive. Thank you so much for having me today and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Uh, as of now, I haven't received any questions.
Okay.
Let me check once more.
Sure. Or we'll wait for a while in case anybody is asking any questions.
Uh, okay.
I hope the practical tips which we have discussed today would be beneficial for everyone.
Um, it was like the things we have always known, but when someone lists down those things in pointers and giving examples like that elephant example you gave, it was very we know that, right? We have heard about it, we have seen it, but we cannot point out, okay, fine, it relates like that in life. So it was nice.
And these stories actually help us to recon the things also. Then they stay in our mind. Yeah, this is something which we have.
Exactly, exactly. The stories stay in the mind. Yeah, that's right. I guess, ma'am, we won't be receiving any questions. Maybe some issue or don't know. There are no questions yet. Okay, let's. Shall we conclude the session?
Yeah, sure. Just let me know whatever way you want. I'm okay with it.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you, Neha ma'am. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful session on 7 winning skills for career and life success, organized by the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee (ICI). On behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee (ICI), we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Neha Agrawal, for her enlightening session. A wide round of applause and thanks to the organizers, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee (ICI), and other stakeholders who made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, we would like to thank all of you present here and helping us make this webcast a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, and it was really a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Emily, ma'am.